Okay, you see this is the wet bay for my rig, and got all the standard accoutrements here. I store my sewer stuff down there, and my flush hose here, and all my water hoses I put in the back compartment, so they're not stored around with the sewer hoses. So that's just me. At any rate, you see here I've added your standard, just a water filter to kind of maybe clean up the water a little bit as it comes out of the faucet. I'm using these quick connects. They're very similar to the ones everyone's familiar with, except these have I'll show you the other end. If you notice, there's an O-ring on the end, and that's I think that's key to keep them from leaking. I know some of them don't have an O-ring, and anyway, that's what I did. Well, anyway, the water comes in here. I got these holders here to hold this standard filter in place. It's if you notice, it's like a mop holder, just spring loaded. Seems to work really well, and it's easy to get in and out. So I got water coming here from the shore, goes up here to the quick connect through this first filter, through a hole I put here to the next bay, and that goes into the water filter, and then it comes out of the water filter in the top hose. You see these chrome attachments here. Those are what they call tailpipe for a sink tailpipe, and the stopper would go in here, and it's got a nut on the other side to tighten it up on the bottom of the sink. Well, I just kind of repurposed those for this application. So at any rate, I kind of like it. Anyway, it comes back in here, goes into the coach, and I got a Y here. So the reason you're doing that is if you want a back flush, you can shut this valve off, and then hook your hose onto here, and it'll run backwards through it. And then of course you'd have to disconnect this and hook it back up to a drain. Also, if you want to recharge, you would put a salt canister on and run the water very slowly in through here. You wouldn't run it through this, you just run it into the water softener, and it'd come out here, and I put a little short hose on, and I've got this Y that I've got, the third valve. And this has got this little, it's supposed to be a tank flush, but it doesn't work on this one because of all the elbows and bends before you get to the tank. But I bought this because you can run your salt water, your brine, as you're recharging through this. You can see it hooks on your sewer, something like this, and the sewer hose would hook here on the end and go into the park's sewer system. And with this valve open and this valve open, you can run the brine water right into the park sewer system. I'll just give you a look over here. Someone had asked how you mounted it, how it was mounted. This is the on-the-go, the double size one, which is why it wouldn't fit in the wet bay. So you might want to think about that if you're buying a on-the-go water softener. If you get the double size, it lasts pretty much the whole season. Well, depending on how much you use, but obviously it lasts twice as long as the other one. But the smaller one will fit over here in your wet bay in this area here. And it'll cover up some of the stuff here you have to deal with, but it will fit there. However, that's just too much for the big one, the double size. So you see I got it mounted here on this bracket that I got from On The Go. It's a bracket that's really designed to hold a CO2 canister, and this comes with a little strap and a clip and a belt. Puts it in there pretty strong. Just use a couple of self-tapping bolts. Here's the other side of those sink tailpipes. See the nuts on here that tighten up, hold it really tight, and make a nice thing for the hose to go through the hose here. Got some elbows on here, brass elbows, just so you take some of the kink out of it, and the hose is kind of makes the hose lay in really well. So this is the cap where they would say to recharge the salt. Let me show you what I came up with here. If I was really prepared, I'd have this all unlocked, but I'm not, so here it is. And I did put a, right here by the electric grill, another hook. So you can store my garden hoses. Way back here in the back, because you don't have to use it that much. It's a PVC. And I glued a cap on this end and a threaded adapter on this end with a cap on it so I can unscrew it, and you can hear there's salt pellets inside of there. I tapped this end with the garden hose fitting. I got a cap on it just to keep it clean. Same thing on the other end. Well, this is how I recharge the water filter. Take this and hook it on the hose here, then run this to the park connection. And then, like I said, turn those valves on the Y and run that open connection there over to the sewer. Run it slow till about a half an hour, I think. And then you turn it up, take the salt canister off, and turn the water up on high and flush it out. And then you're not going to use all this salt for one recharge. I think there's about 2, maybe 3 recharges in this. And then you can unscrew the cap on this end, the big cap, and replenish the salt pellets. So at any rate, that's my my setup for my Allegro 37 PA red water softener. You got any comments? Go ahead and send them, and maybe we'll all learn something. Thanks for listening.